The national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Professor Yewada, has said that more governors would dump the party, or rather would dump their party and join the APC ahead of the 2027 general elections to support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's re-election bid. He said that that the doors of the APC were still open and more governors will be moving into the APC with more senators and House of Representative members because of the caliber, integrity, and output of the person the party made president. Opponents may bait or rather back about it, but when a lion is at work, it does not take notice of small animals, accredited to the chairman of the APC. Because what Mr. President is doing is focused leadership that delivers results. But the APC chairman's statement seemed to have sparked a lot of reaction, with some saying the opposition seemed to have been muzzled, while others feel otherwise. But in general, Nigerians seem to be at the receiving end with all of the rhetorics, because it looks as if governance has taken a backseat with 18 months to the next general election. With insecurity soaring all over the country and the economy still not out of the woods yet, with over 149 trillion in debt and more borrowing and infrastructure in shambles, many would always have that thought that says, is it governance that should take center stage, or rather politics, knowing the current state of the country? Well, but whichever side of the divide you seem to be, politics can also be attributed as a part of governance. And indeed, that's why they feel they need to talk more about politics. But for me, whichever side of the divide you seem to be, need for us to look at major things happening in the country at the moment, and we look at them critically. Hence, a need for us to look at the state of the nation. Yes, from politics to the economy, to insecurity, even up to the judiciary. And that's what we shall be having as a major discourse today on Dialogue. We're looking at the state of the nation, critically looking at some major aspects I made mention in my introduction. And we're talking about the issue of the economy, politics itself, which everybody will put as a form of governance, and not just only that, but also insecurity that seems to be soaring, and also judiciary. Well, to help us look at that, we have our guest in the studio. First time he will be joining us on this lovely platform. And I'm talking of no other person, but almost a 3-time governorship aspirant under the All Progressive Congress. And I'm talking about no other person but Barrister K.C. Omon Irabor, Esquire. Good morning and welcome to the show, sir.
Good morning, and good morning, viewers.
Well, it would be nice for us to start with the chairman of your party and what he said yesterday, and saying that there's every tendency that more governors would dump their party, especially those in the opposition, and will pinch tents with the All Progressive Congress. And he's not even just talking about governors, but he's also talking about senators and major members of the House of Representatives. So, well, it's only right we start with politics, knowing that you're also from that very party. But let's look at this. The opposition feel the ruling party is muzzling them into a corner and actually putting them in a tight block, all in a bid to get more of them into the ruling party. I just want your reaction to his statement and the fears being expressed, especially by the opposition.
Thank you. Those statements are political. Not just political. Remember that the interest of any political party and their leadership is to garner support,
yes,
at all costs, to make sure that they succeed in any election they ever partake in. And because of that, it is the duty and the priority of the incumbent the national chairman, yeah, to want to look for supporters everywhere, yeah, and to make some sweeping statement, yeah, that nearly all the governors will now become members of APC. Yeah, I'm a member of APC. I've contested under APC 3 times with governorship. And I also think that it is always good for us to go into propaganda and bring people to join the party. But be that as this may, I keep saying this. I'm a patriot. I'm a Nigerian citizen. I was born and brought up here, doing my schooling here and abroad. And I want to ask, if we all gathered our egg in one basket, how safe is it? There'll be a manipulation one day. Remember that APC is a gathering of strange bedfellows who came from different backgrounds, all Progressive Congress. And how many of them are actually all progressive? How many of us are willing to make sacrifice to survive of our country? What we do these days is politicking, and we have abandoned governance. We have not started before thinking of 2027. By 2027, after we have gotten the power again, we'll be looking at 2031. This is arrant indiscipline. And it's very, very worrisome. I wonder whether our children will have a future in this country. The problem is it that all governors come to APC and then what? How does it help the common man? How does it put food on the poor man's table? Is that what we're going to say every day? And we are not accountable to the poor people? Salute popular and supreme less. The safety and the welfare of the people is the supreme governance, is the supreme law. You don't go there making statements that everybody will not come and join you, when actually we're all supposed to be criminals in the prison yard. What are we talking about? You have bastardized the country. Nobody's saying anything because we have all acquiesced. Everybody wants to be governor. We want to be relevant. Therefore, we are closing our eyes against all that is happening. People are being killed every day. People are being maimed every day. People are being sacked every day. The fuel we meant at 1 is now over 1,000. And we are saying only one man has heard our coming to bound hostage. And nobody's talking. We are talking about me for joining the APC. Let's go ahead.
It looks as if you're not in line with the chairman of the APC as it concerns.
Look, like I said, APC have so many divisions. I'm in APC very well. And I refuse to leave APC because, as Basanjo once said, if you pull away from an organization, you become an outsider. If you are in there, you can talk and contribute and argue. It's better to remain there and tell them this thing we are doing is bad. Allow opposition to exist. And don't have a Nigerian Labour Congress anymore.
Now
we don't have anybody who talks to us again. Human rights organizations are down. Everybody's looking for money.
Okay, now you talked about opposition. I feel that's where we need to go now.
Yes.
And let's talk about the opposition that you made mention of. Now, there's this major news that seems to be going around there. I know he's not in your party, but in every way you can also talk about the issue. And it's the issue of having our former president, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, joining the race, especially as the PDP presidential candidate come 2027. Now, in the news today, we've also heard, I know how grounded you are when it comes to politics in the South-South. We've also heard that seems to have divided the South-South on different lines. But my reaction, or rather my question to you, how do you see the former president coming back? Would it be advisable for him to come back, or would he still just remain the international figure he is on account of ceding governance to the APC in 2015?
Let me say something. This is an analogy to what happened in 1983 in the then Bender State. When Ambrose Ali was doing well, the MPN were at the national level, and they felt they must get Bender at all costs. They went to look for a sellable candidate in the name of Major General Ogbemudia. Ogbemudia was sought in and brought in to defeat Ali. So it is PDP. They know that they have become so irrelevant that they are now trying to shop for a viable candidate that is strong enough to be able to fight with President Tinubu. And the only credible and viable person right now in Nigerian politics who is still relevant is our ex-president, Goodluck Jonathan. And if I were him, it is better to remain where you are now, where you're highly respected by the globe, than to be brought and be humiliated and be disgraced. Because certainly he may not win. Not that he won't be voted for. If the INEC did not remove him, he can't remove him. That's where we are now. We no longer have the power to choose our leaders. The electorate can no longer choose our leaders. If the electorate, if the people who own the country, the cartel, did not put you, the court will put you there. So if I were Jonathan, I would remain where I am, that Olympia level. I will not come solo to come and start meeting the blind and the lame. Definitely, if he dabble into politics again to be a contestant, he will certainly lose. Not that he does not have the capacity to win, but he does not have the capacity to fight those who remove him. They are still there. You're talking of overthrowing Tinubu. Tinubu is an experienced politician and knows what he's doing.
So you feel it will be of no use coming back?
Irrelevant, of no use, because it will reduce his status. It will bring him to the arena of conflict. People begin to talk to him and begin to remember his weaknesses. And you remember that when you are up in this country, people will remember that your father was once a thief. And your grandmother stole some breast milk. Let's
not remember all of that, but rather still remain with the question.
So it is better Jonathan just remain where he is as another statesman and an international statesman. And that coming so low again to want to contest. And in a country like this, at the present stage now, I know you are going to contest an incumbent. You are not contesting, we are not coming afresh. And somebody is going to tell you really want to agree. If I were you, I would tell them to hell with your national politics. I've done my part. Let someone else take over.
Okay, now talking about taking over, let's just assume that he finally agrees to contest and he eventually is given the ticket. Now, a fellow party man of yours, I'm talking, and also a high-ranking member of the APC, and I'm talking about the Minister of Aviation, Festus Keyamo, came out to indeed talk about something different. And I'm happy he's also a lawyer of high repute, just like yourself. And he talked about the constitutional issue, if Jonathan definitely pitches or gets the ticket. And he's talking about Jonathan had been sworn in as president twice. First, when we had the death of late Musa Yar'Adua, and also as president when he also came on board. So he feels it's already a forgotten issue, that if he comes again, it's going to be a constitutional issue. So I want you to help us understand. If he wins a second time and he's now being sworn in the third time, would that not be a constitutional issue as being portrayed by Festus Keyamo?
Okay, you see, Festus Keyamo is a friend and an activist, or he was an activist, and is in government. He's one of the few people I don't like to ever trade words with. Because when it comes to legal system, he's sometimes embarrassed us. We're talking about constitutionalities. And he's a constitutional lawyer. He's not going to Nigeria. He makes political statements and non-legal statements. Those are purely political. Why did Jonathan contest after the second tenure?
Okay.
Why did INEC not disqualify him? Why did the court not disqualify him? Why did is it now that we remember that he has taken oath? No, please. The issue is that the tenure is 8 years. And if you have not done 8 years, you are free to contest. And moreover, apart from that, even, he only completed the tenure of Yar'Adua. Constitutionally. He didn't contest election. He didn't win anything.
He was sworn in as a president.
Swearing in, taking oath that you'll be loyal to the constitution, different from being elected now. After military people have been sworn in. So that was not the issue at all. Now, he was cleared to contest. He contested election and lost. So he's no longer qualified to contest again. Besides, why is he an issue? And you're already scared of him. Why do you want to personalize something for just one man that you want to disqualify him? It's unfortunate. I don't trade with Keyamo when it comes to legal matters, because most of the things he says, in fact, I don't want to say anything about that would disparage him. Honestly, I won't disparage him.
Okay, so but you feel it will not be a constitutional issue?
How can it be? There's no constitutional crisis.
Okay.
He's qualified to contest.
Okay.
But he shouldn't contest.
Okay, well, that's your personal view undermining the former president is still consulting.
He's a very senior friend, yes. If we have my ears, I will tell him. That's it.
Okay, now let's still remain. In case you're joining us, it's Dialogue on Viewpoint on Atlantic TV. And today we're looking at the state of the nation. And it's no surprise we're also looking at our politics, which is already taking center stage. On the mind, we have like 18 more months to the general election come 2027. Like I said, I still have no other person, but former three-time governorship candidate under the All Progressive Congress in Edo State. And I'm talking of Barrister Omon Irabor, Esquire. Now, we've just looked at politics, which is also a basic, and I feel it's only right to start there. But now let's now come to another major one, and that's the economy. Because you also agree with me that the economy seems to be always taking center stage, especially as we look at major issues in the country. And one I want us to look at is the issue of our recent debt profile. Recently, there was more of a brouhaha, especially in the House of Representatives, as the Speaker himself, Abbas, came out to say, well, he's not comfortable with our borrowing, especially after President Bola Ahmed Tinubu recently said we've hit the revenue target, and hence there will be no need borrowing domestically. But recently now, he has also requested for more than close to about 21 billion in borrowing from international figures. So let's look at all of that. 149 trillion in debt already. And well, where does that really leave us? Because we're looking at broadening our economy, putting it in the right tune, and yet we're largely in debt. And also the issue coming out on whether it is right that the National Assembly approves more for President Tinubu to borrow, or if they should put a plug to it.
Thank you, Mike. You see, most of these things, I believe in street realities,
Okay.
not in Eldorado or imagination.
Yes.
Because imagination is very far from reality. Who are we borrowing from? Who is richer than us? I can imagine when a farmer goes to borrow yam. I don't get it. Nigeria is one of the richest countries, both in natural resources and human resources. Who are we borrowing from? If I tell you the resources are not yet tapped in this country, the just thing that foreigners come to tap in and go away free of charge. People, Chinese are everywhere, money are gold, oil and everything. Our oil is still on reserve. Well, we are so rich, but we have bad managers, bad governance. All we do is politics. Nobody is inventing anything. Nobody is installing anything. Can you imagine? I ask you one question.
Yeah.
One man in this country built a refinery we now rely on. His name is Dangote. Delta State government that's oil producer cannot build one bad refinery. Sheriff cannot borrow even 30 billion because Dangote does not cost 29 billion. And those state governments don't have 29 billion. If they don't have, they cannot borrow to build. And we are all lining up to fight with Dangote to give us fuel. He gives us salt, he gives us cement, give us everything. We have gone mad. That's the truth. We're talking of borrowing, but borrowing from where? From where? Why? Who are you borrowing it from? Are you borrowing to pay salary? Are you borrowing to give politicians to loot? You know, when I see people, revenue collectors in the street, beating up poor women in the market, seizing their goods, going to mechanic shop, seizing organizers machine, I weep for this country. Are these your problem? They go and look at advanced countries that are not as rich as us. People there don't even work. They pay them. They live on industrial insurance. They pay them. They enjoy. But in Nigeria, a poor man who managed to seek his borrow will be asked to pay tax for that borrow. And when the money comes, he goes to the money pocket of the politician. And how long did they even live, this politician? If you live 200 or 150 years, the money will still be there. Then you are just greedy and wicked and in fact ignoramus, pure ignorance was worrying us. We need enlightenment and education, not inside the classroom, not in the university, because there is another kettle of tea. So we are talking of real enlightenment, where you will know that the space you have to live it well. It is a poor player that struck and fret his eye upon the stage, then said no more. If you know that you are going to live 100 years, why are you going to steal 200 billion? 200 billion to do what? And what are you going to do with it? The generations yet born may not even look at it. Look at the other our father built, who's living there now. The one big man built, their children are abroad, they are never coming here. And we're now beginning to think that, look, allow people to breathe. Then why are we borrowing? Borrowing to do what? My wife was telling me something yesterday, that we may not like Honorable Sheriff, but if other governors were building flyover and roads like this about 20 years ago, Delta State would have been Dubai now. No matter what we think about him, no matter what political party it belongs to, now that he's building flyover at Agbo, he's building at Fruit Roundabout, building at PTI Junction, building at everywhere, he's building roads. If the next 10 years, other governors follow suit, then 20 years, Delta will be Eldorado. But what do? We borrow money and give it to politicians to contest the election. And the politicians are not only the worst, the followers too are the worst. If you dare say you want to be a councillor, your house will be full this morning. You buy it ready. Hey, Papa, if I don't follow you, I go die. What is wrong with our people? The followers are even the worst. They call to you, they ask you for money. Even your own wife come and tell that, my country man, don't come, they will see you. Wait till they see me for television. Don't see me before. You go give them something now. Now this something you are giving them the first time, the day you are sworn in, you are beginning to recoup. because you borrowed, you stole, and now you have to steal more. So, and as you are stealing, you are looking for a second tenure. I think Jonathan wanted to try something who would have been good for now, that there should be no incumbent who will go for a second tenure. Let's have a one tenure system, and then nobody will hit up the polity. If we have agreed that time that every governor has a second tenure, nobody will be crossing out to APC. Because the fear of now is that they will not be elected. If you know that it's Benoit, you will contest your election, win, and do all you can as a patriot and leave the stage. And secondly, we should demonetize politics. Why should we pay a senator 50 million, for God's sake? They should have a sitting allowance of 50,000. If you are not qualified, not rich enough to go to Abuja to attend meetings and make law, get out. Yes, how do you become qualified? Let us look for real men, not small boys just like secondary school and somebody sponsoring them. Who just graduated from university, has never done service, is already there, is a minister. No! If we want to, do you know how embarrassed I feel if I see a governor in the classroom studying law? Must everybody be a lawyer? How did you become governor in the first place? Look at how the Chidoka now. It's now they are reading law. They are going to Barr, all of them are major. What is the problem with us actually? So the naturalization lab is going to buy doctoral degree university. The professional university is going to buy thesis title. There's something wrong with all of us.
Okay, but yes. I will plead with you. We're looking really at the state of the nation. And well, it looks as if you're really angry with our present state as it concerns
yes.
Politics itself. But I still want us
not discipline here.
Well, I still want us to remain with the issue. You brought it up, and I want us to continue there.
Yes.
And you talked about the National Assembly. Being a lawyer, because we still also want to understand,
yes.
constitutional-wise, Senator Natasha is representing a particular section of people.
Kogi Central.
And in the last 6 months, she has been deprived, or the people rather have been deprived that representation. We only got wind of it that she ought to have resumed on Monday, but in every way, she might not resume on account of the Senate not recalling her back. So let's understand, constitutional-wise, what seems to be the issue? And does she have every right to go back there without the full support of the leadership of the Senate?
Thank you. The problem with us is that we personalize issues too much. We see it as a Natasha issue. This is an implosion. It's a national issue, the national tragedy. First of all, does he even meditate to have been suspended? And suspension was up to 6 months. The failure of our courts again. Now, the man suspending him is he really an elected legislature? No! The people who the man declared the result have confessed that he rigged and he's in prison. Okay. What is happening? Hold on. What Akpabio still doing there?
Okay, no. Let's not bring the person of Akpabio. I want us to deal with the issue.
The issue I'm following. Just have patience with me.
Yeah.
Just have patience with me. Because now, listen. If they said by their rules they have suspended a woman or a person member for 6 months,
yes,
the person went to court and court is in state. They disobeyed court order. 6 months after that, we are still saying let the court finish. The court of appeal, and we know our legal system. When we finish the court of appeal, go to Supreme Court, which means it's not only that Natasha that will not be a senator. A Kogi Central will not have say in the national event.
Okay.
And we all are quizzed. We are all keeping quiet because Akpabio is involved. God bless the Tinubu will not say a word. That is where I say, where are our students' union? Where is the NLC? When our NGOs are supposed to rise up? Because that's what position we should rely on now.
So what do you feel would be the best way to resolve this issue? Because all we are getting, feeders we are getting, is a request for apologies being asked from Natasha. Or do you feel, like you said, if we now take the issue up to the Supreme Court,
yes,
definitely time will definitely run, and a major section are not being represented in the red chambers.
Yes.
So how do we, or what should be the best way to work against this impasse?
Look, we have not yet decided to take the bull by the horn. First of all, by the time the court asked her to go back, why did we fit for the hands? Who implements this? Not the executive.
Yes.
If the police have escorted her out there and guide her on her seat, will Akpabio person come and push her? No!
Of course not.
Because we are quizzed in our responsibility to enforce the court order. Okay? Being that is me, now that what your punishment has been serving, Have you ever heard of a criminal who is sentenced 10 years imprisonment? After 10 years, still be there? No! What is the implication? The state will pay them for another
So
one.
will it not be right if she withdraws the lawsuit? Because that's what is now being hinged as a reason of her not coming. They feel the court should take its full course. If she withdraws her lawsuit in the court of law, will this issue not be resolved?
Thank you so much. See, this matter is not concerning the lawsuit. It's a different thing. If I'm aggrieved and I go to seek redress in court, does that stop me from coming back to my office while the court goes on? It's a two different entirely. He felt I am deprived, I'm humiliated, I'm assaulted, I'm being slandered everywhere. She went to court. So that's a punishment now for her? No! Hey! It cannot be a punishment because she's seeking redress in court. When the court goes on, she goes back to her chambers and resume. Even then, when the court finally pronounce the judgment and declare her suspension illegal, they will pay for that 6 months. And my employer extend her tenure. Okay. That's not supposed to be.
Because that's where my fear lies. Will this not now lead to another constitutional issue?
Yes, it's not only constitutional crisis because by the time this fairness wound up and there's another general election to the Senate, another person might come up.
Yes.
Was he going to say, Natasha, come and continue another 6 months? Even
that's the question.
No! That's where all of us are supposed to be concerned. I'm not saying we should take the law into our hand. I am saying that the judiciary and the executive must work together.
Okay.
The police who is to enforce you enforce. And moreover, whoever is in the National Assembly is not an outlaw. Okay. Remember, they are the people's deputy, elected to represent the poor masses. And they should do the wish and the wishes of the poor masses who sent them there. If we all stay like Pablo, we all tell everybody, please allow this woman to go back to her seat. Don't see her as the woman. See yourself as the whole Kogi Central is who you are fighting. Please allow the Kogi Central to have a representative. Do you know that any law made now, in all this period, somebody can go to court and challenge and say, my people were not represented. I will not obey. Yeah, from that side, I can say, no, I'm not aware. After I not have a representative, you deprive me for 6 months. All the constitutional crisis will come up. But we easily acquiesce. May go now, I don't do. Me go. That's what we hear every day. Nothing more. We should stand up and move on to a sticky place. And nobody owns this country.
Okay. Well, anyway, in case you are joining us, we're looking at the state of the nation. And no surprise, we are really looking at some constitutional issue, knowing that we have no other person but Barrister Omon Irabor, Esquire, joining us. So we needed to really look at some really constitutional issue as it concerns the state of the nation. But well, in case you're just joining us now, you've missed a great deal. But we still have also a lot to talk. And one I want us to go next is the issue of insecurity. You totally agree with me that in most recent time, there have been an uptick in the amount and frequency of violence that have erupted in Nigeria, especially the northeast and northwest, which has seen its own ridiculous, forgive my language, fair share of violence. Now, in your own assessment, I really want you, because I also remember that you wrote something as it concerns insecurity some years ago, and the best way. And who would even forget what you did when it was that of militancy, how you put yourself up to help negotiate with then militants of the Niger Delta. So let's now come to insecurity. It has lingered for too long, and it's not been done well. And many feel we should take a different route. And that route is the issue of state police. Do you feel state police will be able to deal with this growing insecurity? Or what way can we better use to handle insecurity in the country?
It's just that you're asking me if we should amend our laws. Whether if amendment for our constitution or our laws will help for the betterment of our country. I keep saying that we don't need to change our letters. We need to amend our heads. No matter the number of police you make, every traditional life policeman, every villager a policeman of his village, unless and until we have the will, there will be no way. It is obvious that this security that was minor has grown into a big business. Yeah. It has grown into international business. And politicians are enjoying it. So where do you think it will stop? It's growing by the day like a hydra-headed monster. There's nothing we can do now. When indeed we monetize everything. A young man who comes out from school, he has no cover, you tell him, oh yeah, come and join this. He said, no, I'm a Christian, I'm born again. And doesn't even know that his pastor is a member. At the end of the day, he's recruited. He goes to kidnap people and they bring 200 million. They give him 10 million. Some people have never received 50,000 for 3 years. He would rather die. And would you blame him? A man who have finished primary school, secondary school, university. He sees his old mother who has tried for him, who is now about 32 years old, sick, having a lot of diseases, no money. The father died of diabetes. The brothers are crying, the younger sisters are all there. And now Lord is throwing away their load. Will he commit suicide? And there's a little window to be Yahoo boy. He will go. Why are you asking me to come and arrest them? I won't have rather defend him. Yes. It's like those days when the cutoff mark for admission into the university was about 30 in the north, while it was 60 in the south. Most of us decided to write exams. Yes, there was exam practice and made people will not score high. People from Delta and Nedo were now going to university on merit. We no longer go for quota system. That was a revolution, if you do not know. And people who we say were writing for were intelligent. Nobody fight the university. When they got there, they made first class. Well, the people in the north were still going there, ground up and down. So that is where we are now, where the poor and the needy are dying by the day, and there's no way to help them. So the insecurity we have now is that people want to survive, and people are exploiting them. Do you know that when politicians hire thugs, buy them gun, buy them everything, by the time the election is over, they don't take the gun back? Akwa Ibom State Governor Emmanuel came to the CNN to say, talking to outside Nigeria, that he ordered the security outfit vigilante to arrest some Fulani herdsmen who were caught with guns, and they have been in this bush, in the bush in Akwa Ibom, doing kidnapping and raping women. They finally arrested some. And that after they were kept transferred to the police, a direction came from Abuja, not that they should be released, and they were released, and the gun were returned to them. And they went back to the bush. That was helpless. As a sitting governor who has now joined the APC. Then we are in trouble.
So
what are we saying?
Yeah.
Everybody is just on self-survivor. Let me tell you, Mondokpebo were those states. Mondokpebo knew when the 16 were caught at Urumi and were killed. Yeah. They said they were hunters. I don't know which animal they were going to hunt. I don't want to go into that one. Yeah. Mondokpebo decided, as a peaceful man, as he always do, went to Kano, pacified them, gave them billions so that they can go and sit down. Not after 1 month. They were again in the bush, kidnapping the king, everywhere, kidnapping people. When the war vigilante uniform and followed the men into the bush. And people were arrested. People wanted jungle justice. Said, no, take them to court. Were they ever tried? They'll be returned to the north. We are in trouble here.
So you feel all of the insecurity is all about our mindset. And if we have a change of mindset, all of these will be...
Do you know how we'll start to have security?
Yes.
If we all agree that our greed is what's our problem. God has created us and given us our needs, but not enough for our greed. That's just it. If we all know, go to school, marry, have children, pay their school fees, or government will give them free education, live a calm and quiet life, nobody will go and carry gun. But now, there's one solution to insecurity which we are afraid to face. Do you know that you will not be afraid of me if we have equal qualification?
Yeah.
How can I come and build you up when you have your own gun? I'm about kidnapper. What did they use to intimidate that the kidnapping is gone? If all of us are asked to have our guns, including the old men in the village, be trained. Let me go and train them. Just hold on, let me finish it. Yeah. Go and train every Nigerian to have the best people in camp, buy anywhere, anyhow, and then defend yourself. The kidnapping will stop.
But we will still have killings, just
no,
like
that's
in
the
the United States,
that's the first
where
sacrifice.
There's a misarm of arms.
Look,
misuse of arms.
That is the first sacrifice. It's not even to 1/4 of what we are losing every day.
So we should go the way of the United States.
Wait, just try and listen. Look at it now. Do you know how many people die every day out of insecurity? How many people pay ransom, they still return their dead body? To that of a king in Okpila who was kidnapped, and they paid ransom 152 million. They gathered the money only to be given the head in a bag, the body and carried away. And we are sitting down here, we are talking something rubbish. No! We must rise. Everybody must be armed.
Okay, now, but Omon Irabor,
yes.
Let's leave the issue of armed, because
no, if everybody is armed, there will be no insecurity.
It's also not a part of the constitution, just like what you said.
Let's
still return back to the issue of state police.
State police is still Nigerian police. Nigerians that will impersonate the police. What did they do? Arrest and take bribe and send you to court or gas you to go away. What are they going to do? State police indeed. Whatever, state police is the same national police now. What did they do? They are helpless. Now, the state police, if you go and report the police station now, they will tell you to leave here. Let me give you an example. A belief in High Court went to serve process in Kiagbodo. And the people there beat him and wanted to kill him. He ran into the police station. The police said, go, don't kill me, join you. Now, let me go and get for you. We are two people, you beg. He ran to the army. It was the army that saved him. That we have gone to that level. So what I'm saying is that when you're talking about state police, and they are Nigerians now, are they Ghanaians? They are not Ghanaians. It's Nigeria. Why you
so we are not going to see any successes on account of
state police may improve. We will not get up to 10% of what we're asking for. Let everybody be his own police. That is it. Let me tell you, the Minister of Defense in this country was once on the checkpoint. Why is he carrying on? Say you are a fool at this stage in the country. Everybody should carry gun. I'm carrying mine. If you don't want to carry gun, be waiting for law. Then by the time tomorrow you be your bearer. That's the Minister of Defense in our country. So what are you saying?
That happened during the Buhari administration. Okay, let's leave that now, because it looks as if you're not going to change your view on that. But let's come to another constitutional issue that seems to be brewing, and it's the issue of local government forms, especially as it concerns Osun State. Now, we have the opportunity of having you here, so we want to look at some of the basic, especially as it concerns the law. Yeah, I know we're not going to go deep into it because the matter is already in court. And we don't want to sound prejudice, especially as it's in the Supreme Court. But should that fund be given to Osun State government, or what do you feel?
I don't even understand these things. There are 3 types of government constitutionally in this country.
Yes.
It is the federal, the state and the local government. And our constitution spells out our different functions.
Yes.
Does one need to beg from the other?
No.
The Fiscal Commission has already been empowered to give money to everybody that belongs. So why are we even talking about states? Can the local government not distribute their funds directly from the federal government? Is that not the new judgment in the Supreme Court or the local government autonomy? Why does the state want to grab it before it can give it to the chairman? And that's why you have the right to remove chairman and put it back. I use the word right in parentheses. They don't have such right. Because neither the governor, neither the president have the right to remove governor. But we allow this to... So
you feel the Osun State government is wrong in requesting for that fund?
Yes, let the local government have their fund. You know the problem we have? When the state, local government in the state, about 3 are not from the ruling party.
Yes.
The other ruling party will be having their fund, the 3 will be stabbed. They don't forget that it is not that individual that is chairman, that the local government no longer have anything. That's the problem we have. So let the Fiscal Commission directly send the money to the local government.
But the Osun State government feels it is wrong to do that because it naturally, undermining will have the local government autonomy. We've seen that the Supreme Court has given all indication that the money should go. But the Osun State government feels that the federal government do not have the total right to do so. The fund has to come to them directly.
What is total right? Well, like I said, almost all the governors in this country are stealing from the local government. And remember that when these issues started in my state, where they were removing local government chairmen who were not loyal to APC. And the federal attorney general, Fagbemi, said, no, that you don't have a right to remove their chairman, you have a right to remove their fund, let them go back. The president went to hold a retreat in Calabar and said, gentlemen, I'm not removing money of local government from you, and you have right to control your local government. That is where we are. We are too political, everything politics. We don't follow law, we don't follow governance. You know what it is. Until we are able to stand on our feet and say the constitution of Rome to be the leadership of men and the leadership of law. That's where we are.
Okay, well, anyway, where we are now is we are really totally out of time. It's surprising how time is well spent, especially when we're having this discussion. And we're talking about the present state of the nation. We looked at the economy. Politics took its center stage. Insecurity. With the feeling of Barrister Omon Irabor, he feels we should go towards the road or the route of the United States of America, and that will give us better protection. But whether he feels that way, the Constitution still has to be amended for all of that to come into being. But what is now is for us to really give you a big thank you. I'm talking of no other person, but Barrister Omon Irabor, three-time governorship aspirant under the All Progressive Congress for the Edo State governorship election. I would have loved to have your views as it concerns what's happening in your state, Edo State, but time is not a friend. We might bring you here for us to talk, especially when we are now celebrating almost 3 years in office of that very administration. We'll come back and definitely do that. Or even before then, we'll really bring you on as it concerns some major legal issues that they definitely not certain people. But all the same, thank you so much, Barrister Omon Irabor, for honoring our invitation and coming to Atlantic TV to do this with us. We truly appreciate the time with us.
My viewers, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our soul. Have no fear for atomic energy, because none of them can stop at the time. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. Anyway, he added the music to it. I never knew he could wax an album. But anyway, you can also wax your album. Remember, we'll be doing it live right here.